And good morning again. Charlie Rose, as we just reported, has interviewed Bashar al-Assad in Syria. He is in Beirut this morning now. Well, Charlie, let's get right to it. What did he tell you?
Well, he denied that he had anything to do with the attack. He denied that he knew, in fact, that there was a chemical attack, notwithstanding what has been said and notwithstanding the videotape. He said there's not evidence yet to make a conclusive judgment. He would not say, even though I read him a lead paragraph of the New York Times today in a story about their chemical weapons supply, and he said, I can't confirm or deny that we have chemical weapons. He did, however, say that if, in fact, we do have them, and I'm not going to say yes or no, they're in centralized control, so no one else has access to them. He suggested, as he has before, that perhaps the rebels had something to do with it. He made some references to Aleppo. The most important thing is he basically says there has been no evidence that I use chemical weapons against my own people, and that there is no evidence of that. And if, in fact, the administration has evidence, then they should show that evidence and make their case. I then obviously repeated the fact that Secretary Kerry is in the process of making the case, and that, in fact, that information is being shown to members of Congress as they begin to come back to Washington and consider an authorization for the president to make a military strike. He said that he did not necessarily know whether there was going to be a strike, obviously, that they were as prepared as they could be for a strike. He said suggested there would be, among people that are aligned with him, some kind of retaliation if a strike was made, that would be, what would be, but he would not even talk about any kind of the nature of the response. He had a message to the American people that it had not been a good experience for them to get involved in the Middle East and in wars and conflicts in the Middle East, that the results had not been good, and that they should not get involved, and that they should communicate to their Congress and to their leadership in Washington not to authorize a strike.
Well, Charlie, did he seem resigned to the fact that the United States is probably going to attack, or did he predict that Congress wouldn't approve this? Did you get any kind of sense of what he thinks is going to happen next?
Bob, that was the very first question I asked. Do you expect an attack? He said, I don't know. He said, we're prepared as best we can. He did not say that he assumed that there would be an attack in Syria because of the chemical weapons. I also pursued the question of whether there was anything that he was prepared to do to stop the attack. For example, to give up chemical weapons, if that would stop the attack. I also raised the question with him that did he fear that if there was an attack, it would degrade his own military and therefore make it more likely that it might tip the balance. He's very, very concerned about that as an issue. He talked about his father and the lessons he had learned from his father, that war was ruthless, and that after Hama, his father went all out to destroy, at that time, the Muslim Brotherhood. So he was calm. He knew the situation he was in. In fact, Damascus seemed relatively calm, the places that I was today. But there is a clear sense that they are closely watching what is happening in Washington. I think the reason they did this interview today, we've been trying for a long time, but did it today because they're watching what happens in Washington.
The interview will air in its entirety Monday night on the Charlie Rose Show on PBS. Excerpts of the interview will air for the first time on CBS This Morning tomorrow.